Hello, welcome to PowerPoints. My name is Danny Rocks. You have been invited to make a presentation at your office next month. Congratulations! Before you begin your research and before you start to write your script, stop. Go back to the person who invited you to present, your sponsor, and ask several questions. What is the theme for the day? What is the purpose of the meeting? Who will be in the audience? Why will they be there? Are they required to be there, or do they want to be there? Who else will be presenting that day? What topics will they be presenting? Once you have the answers to these questions, you can begin to plan your presentation. A presentation that will make a difference. How? Your sponsor has asked you to present so that something will change as a result. Something will be different when you finish your presentation. You may want to share information with your audience, not to transmit information. You could just email that. You want to share information with your audience so that they will have a better understanding of that information when you have finished your presentation. You may want your audience to do something different as a result of your presentation. This is your call to action. What are you asking your audience to do? To make a purchase? To cast a vote? To form a committee? To take the next step in the sales process? Give them compelling reasons to move forward and ensure that they know exactly how to take the action that you want them to take. You may want your audience to think in a different way as a result of your presentation, to consider a different viewpoint, to look at the situation from a different perspective, to consider a different outcome, to consider the risks as well as the rewards for a specific course of action. You may want your audience to experience a different feeling when you finish your presentation, to feel better about themselves, to be reassured about the change that your organization is undertaking, to accept the loss of a loved one. Now that you have a clear understanding of the purpose of your presentation, it is time to prepare and practice your presentation. Dale Carnegie, the author of many books including How to Make Friends and Influence People, wrote, "There are always three speeches for the one you actually gave. The one you practiced, the one you actually gave, and the one you wish you gave." When I share this quote with my seminar class, they always chuckle, and they always nod in recognition. Most of us wish that we could take back a presentation, to do it over, to do it better, now that we know what we did not know before we made our presentation. There is always room for improvement. We can always do better. We cannot control everything that takes place during our presentation. However, we can anticipate and we can prepare our responses during our practice sessions. How do you practice your presentations? Do you practice speaking your words out loud? Do you change the words that you consistently stumble over? Do you practice varying your tone of voice? Do you record your presentations and then analyze the recordings? What do you change as a result? When and how often do you practice your presentation? Do you allow yourself sufficient time to practice? Do you practice at the same time of day that you will be presenting at? Do you notice any difference when you present early in the morning, after dinner? Take note of these differences and incorporate them into your presentation. Where do you practice? Will you be presenting in a large auditorium? Can you make arrangements to practice in that hall before your presentation? Who? Review your notes. Who will be in your audience and why will they be there? What does your sponsor expect will change as a result of your presentation? Remember to practice in front of an audience, even if it is your pet dog. Observe their reactions. Ask for feedback from your practice audience and accept what they offer. Do not argue with them or refute their observations. Consider their feedback and incorporate appropriate changes. 90% of the outcome of your presentation is determined before you speak your first word. The success of your presentation depends upon your ability to analyze your audience before you speak, to understand what they expect, your message, what you want your audience to do differently, to think differently or to feel differently as a result of your presentation. Now it is up to you to actually deliver your presentation. Remember that you are not talking to your audience. You are communicating with your audience. You are trying to create a bond with your audience. If you have properly prepared your presentation, you have already established your credibility. Your audience will accept you as the best person to make this presentation. If you have not properly prepared your presentation, in life, we never get a second chance to make a good first impression. So too with our presentations. It is rare when we have the opportunity to repeat our presentation. Some factor will always be different. A different audience, a different time of day, a different location. While it is impossible for us to reach perfection, we will never make the perfect presentation. We can learn from each experience. Perform a thorough and thoughtful assessment of the presentation that you just gave. Ask and welcome feedback from your sponsor. Ask, what worked well and why? What did not work so well and why not? What will you do differently in the future? And how will you make sure that you do it? Ask yourself and assess, what changed as a result of my presentation? Does my audience now have a better understanding of the information that we shared? Will my audience take the action that I proposed? Do they know how to take the action? Will my audience now consider other opinions and explore other options? How does my audience feel now that I have made my presentation? Are you satisfied with your presentations? Do you want to improve? Do you want to consistently deliver the presentation you wish you gave? If your answer is yes, the Company Rocks can help you. Call me or email me to set up an appointment. I will help you to make a difference whenever you present. I will help you to consistently deliver the presentation you wish you gave.